Tulsa Real Estate Fund, beware. We're going to go over three quick reasons why you need to beware and not invest in the J. Morrison Real Estate Fund. Trust me, I'm not hating. I made an earlier video that actually said if you're at a certain level, gamble 500 or 1,000 with a maybe, right? But I learned of some new information that says do not invest, too risky. Here it is. Number one, lack of checks and balances in the fund. Jay Morrison is the CEO, CFO, CIO, CTO, so Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Technology Officer, etc. It is all in his power. These are usually other positions. Who is going to keep him in check in terms of giving that other perspective? It's he has you like this, you know. So there's a reason other companies aren't don't have the same person in every single role. In addition, his own management company is the management company for the resources of the funds. This isn't some outside management companies that's like an escrow. He could do whatever the hell he wants with your money. Over $10 million. Now he can just he says he's only going to give out 5% of the value of the fund per year. That's what you agree to if you put your money in there. Period. That is 20 years it would take for you to get your entire investment back. Legally, it's already structured in there. And he has over $10 million. So that he's already good for 500,000 per year. And that's on top of his management fee if he was going to finesse. So we're going to say maybe he won't finesse. But guess what? He has finessed before. That is number two. In 2009, there was a $200,000 judgment against Jay Morrison. I'm not going to say the plaintiff's full names. Last name is Avant. Basically, they agreed to give Jay Morrison some money for a real estate project. He agreed to use his expertise to make it more valuable. It became more valuable. He did not pay as agreed. He kept all the profit for himself and dodged them, dodged them, dodged them. They went to court. He lost. The building permits, all that stuff was in the plaintiff's names. This isn't some people who lied against him and finessed him. Evidence on their side, judgment against him. So what did he do? He didn't pay Mr. Multimillionaire Jay Morrison. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But would a multimillionaire really file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy in 2006? That brings us to the third point. Chapter 7 bankruptcy. This isn't Donald Trump, Chapter 11 business bankruptcy. This is Chapter 7. I don't make enough income, too much debt. I need to discharge bankruptcy. Um, that's in 2016. He filed bankruptcy. Jermaine D. Morrison, aka Jay Morrison. I didn't want to believe it was him. He just gave a Tulsa talk and said and mentioned the bankruptcy. Then I believed it was him. Trust me. All the visionary stuff about building up the black community, building up the investors' wealth, distributing it to them, helping them have more for their grandkids, helping the black community be more empowered financially. I was drinking the Kool-Aid, but just me being a CPA, I said, you know what? It's still not better than a REIT. And honestly, black people are much more integrated into American society, and many of us have pretty decent lives where we don't need this miracle commune of black people investments to, you know, to have a good life. We can already invest in a REIT, have a good job, live in a good area. We will be discriminated against sometimes, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, I don't care enough about all the rah rah black people stuff to put money in an inferior investment with higher fees than my other options and no track record, by the way, when some of the other options have much really good track records. All this is relevant because, recap, Jay Morrison has all power in the fund. If he could finesse you all or not is up to his heart. And he has a lot of temptation, over $10 million. I pray he does the right thing. Who knows? But that's what his investors came down to. People who are betting that he will do the right thing, and people who are like, I don't know him well enough to risk my money in it, point blank. Number two, $200,000 judgment for a very similar situation. He's going to take some real estate, increase the value, share the profits. Except he doesn't share the profits, doesn't do as agreed, and has to file for bankruptcy after the judgment against him. And number three, I think he does have the money. I think he is profitable. I think that he just uses shell companies to hide his money as the most ethically challenged billionaires and millionaires do. Um, and they do that so that they can claim that they have the minimal taxable income, and then he used it to say, "Oh, Jay Morrison, the person, doesn't have millions. That's Jay Morrison's entity here, Mr. Real Estate, Jay Morrison Brand, Jay Morrison LLC, etc. has it, but Jay Morrison, the person, just makes $2,000 per month." He did that and filed Chapter 7 bankruptcy. Man, that's a rough one. That's kind of low. You know what I'm saying? My parents have had to file bankruptcy before, so I'm not disrespecting anyone who filed bankruptcy. My point is that if you have the money, but you file bankruptcy, then that is like just giving the person you owe money to the middle finger and say, I'm not paying you and I'm going this far simply not to pay you. So I made an earlier video where I said, okay, the fact that Jay Morrison went through the proper channels to get registered with the SEC, I give him credit for that. That's initiative. I like his vision. I respect him. Learning more, and shout out to Yvonne. That's the only part of her name I'm going to say. She's a fellow CPA who sent me the judgment. Learning more about it, don't invest. He has to explain this. He could use some of that $10 million to pay those people and then explain what makes us know that he'll never do that type of stuff again. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's bad. Like, this isn't the person you want to have this 100% control over your real estate investment. This is not the person. You want someone who never filed for bankruptcy. You want someone whose name is clean, never had a judgment against them. You want someone with a board of investors who can have a Damon John, Robert F. Smith, John Hope Bryan, Oprah, who knows, so on and so forth, respected public business leaders who are on his board who will keep them in check. Jay Morrison has you all. He has you all. And hopefully he does the right thing and proves me wrong. I will say, okay, just how he turned his life around when he was young in the streets, he turned around this this bankruptcy, personal bankruptcy and judgment stuff and did the right thing. But it's way too risky, so I had to make this video update. Don't invest in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, and pray if you have.